In this video, how to get citizenship in Mexico, the different pathways to achieving it. A topic that's gaining traction recently as more people are getting residency in Mexico, getting married to Mexicans, or they're Mexican American and rediscovering their roots. There are so many different routes to residency and citizenship in Mexico, and in this video, we'll talk about citizenship. Governed by the Nationality Law of 1998, Mexico offers one of the most flexible citizenship frameworks, allowing dual citizenship and granting access to a passport ranked 24th on the Henley Passport Index. It's a surprisingly good passport, the Mexican passport, with visa-free entry to over 160 countries. With over 1.5 million foreign residents in Mexico and a growing expat community, about some 70% from the US, Mexico's citizenship paths are appealing for all these residents who can work towards citizenship. Citizenship is also appealing to Mexican Americans, of which there's maybe 50 million. There's a lot. It depends if you go to grandparents, great-grandparents, but there's a lot of Mexican Americans that are entitled to citizenship as well. And there are a lot of people who are married to a Mexican spouse, and they're curious about what their options are. So in this video, we'll break down what Mexican citizenship entails, its benefits, who qualifies, the pathways to citizenship step by step, validity, drawbacks, and practical tips to navigate the process. All info is updated for late 2025 based on official sources like the SRE, the Relaciones Exteriores. But of course, requirements can vary based on your situation, so consult a Mexican consulate or immigration lawyer. And if you're looking for an immigration lawyer, MyLatinLife can help. There's a link in the description where you can book a call with us to get the process started. We're immigration citizenship consultancy, and we can help you get residency and citizenship in Mexico. Link in the description if you feel like you need some help. But let's get started with the video here. So Mexican citizenship grants you full rights as a national, including voting in federal elections, holding public office, and accessing social benefits, and owning property without restriction, including in the restricted zones like coastal areas within 50 kilometers of the sea or 100 kilometers of the borders. Unlike residency, citizenship is permanent, irrevocable unless renounced, and allows you to pass citizenship to your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and so forth, essentially unlimited generations. Mexico's nationality law has been amended as recently as 2021, recognizing birth in Mexico jus soli and jus sanguinis, which is descent through parents or grandparents, making it accessible for descendants and those born on Mexican soil. In 2025, Mexico's 130 million population includes over 1 million dual citizens driven by ancestry claims from the 30 or 50 million Mexican Americans living in the US and in other countries around the world. The process is managed by the SRE for descent and birth registrations and the Instituto Nacional de Migración, the INM, for naturalization. There's a lot of digital tools that have come on in the past year or two. Mexico's actually getting pretty good at that, but a lot of stuff is still manual. Citizenship also includes an INE document. We have a video on our channel, another video about the INE. It's sort of like the voter ID, but it's also a general purpose ID. And once you have citizenship, you can apply for the INE. The benefits of Mexican citizenship are substantial. You gain visa-free travel to 160 plus countries, including the Schengen area. You have Japan, all Latin American nations. It's relatively easy to get a visa for Canada and the USA as well. You have really quite a lot of global mobility around the world. The Mexican passport is extremely strong. The only thing it doesn't have is visa-free United States and I guess visa-free Canada now. But other than that, it's an extremely strong passport. And Mexico can have a pretty good tax system as well. It's not a territorial tax system, but they have regimes like the Recico regime. It's a special tax regime where you can get your income tax down to single digits. We have another video on our channel about the Recico regime. Or you can potentially avoid tax residency by having your economic center of life outside of Mexico and earn your money outside of Mexico and so forth. You'll gain educational benefits as well, free public schools for children, serving over 25 million students, and university access with subsidized tuition. I know there's a lot of people in California, Baja area that will go to university in Mexico, even though they're American, because it's less expensive and the degree is still recognized. Other benefits, you can own coastal property without the fideicomiso trust, which is huge to be able to own property in your name or to not have to deal with the fideicomiso, which has an annual cost, which adds to the carrying costs of your properties. So citizenship eliminates the need for these trusts, so you don't have to deal with the banks. Citizenship also eliminates residency renewals, saving time, allowing you to not have to be at the mercy of changing residency requirements. So far, it's historically been very easy to renew your residency, but you never know. They're always making these things more difficult over time. You never know. They might introduce the requirement that you need a police check or that you need to show independent means at the time of the renewal. They're always going to make renewing residency more difficult, which is why citizenship benefits from not having to get that renewed. So who qualifies for Mexican citizenship? Eligibility covers several groups. Those born in Mexico, those with Mexican parents or grandparents, long-term residents, or those married to Mexicans. No language test or minimum income is required for certain pathways, but for other pathways, a civics test, a Spanish test will be required if you're going for a naturalization pathway with physical presence requirements in Mexico, which we'll get to that in a bit. Children born abroad to Mexican parents are automatically citizens, but need registration. Dual citizenship is allowed, benefiting Mexican Americans who can pick up the Mexican passport without having to renounce their U.S. citizenship. And there's also tax treaties to avoid double taxation. If you want to retire to Mexico, there's treaties that cover your pension and so forth. And we help a lot of people move to Mexico in retirement or families, digital nomads, etc., people of all ages with residency or citizenship. But we see more and more clients who are Mexican American and they're saying, hey, I want to finally get my Mexican citizenship because I might actually want to retire in Mexico where there's a much lower cost of living and good weather and lifestyle benefits and so forth. So now let's walk through the pathways to Mexican citizenship step by step, covering birth, descent, naturalization, and marriage. Each has distinct steps with timelines from immediate to 5 years. So pathway 1 is citizenship by birth, jus soli. If born in Mexico, you're automatically a citizen, regardless of the parent's nationality. Apply for a birth certificate, acta de nacimiento, at a civil registry office with your hospital records or midwife attestation. For children born abroad to Mexican-born parents, register at a consulate with parents' Mexican birth certificates and your birth certificate. Process is instant or takes a couple weeks, issuing identity documents and citizenship. Pathway 2, citizenship by descent, jus sanguinis. If you have a Mexican parent or even grandparent, you're eligible by proving the lineage. For parents, submit their Mexican birth certificate and your birth certificate apostilled at a consulate or SRE office. For grandparents, first register your parents' citizenship, then yours. No residency is required. It'll take some processing time, and then you'll get your passport and citizenship. Pathway 3 is naturalization by residency. After legal residency, apply for citizenship at the INM office. Requirements vary. 5 years of residency for most, 2 years for those with Mexican spouses, children, or Latin American or Iberian descent, and 1 year for those adopted by Mexicans. Submit a passport, residency card, criminal records, proof of income, and basic Spanish and Mexican history test, etc. Processing takes 6 to 12 months, with relatively high approval rates for compliant applicants. And then pathway 4 is naturalization by marriage. If married to a Mexican citizen, apply after 2 years of residency. Provide the marriage certificate, apostilled if foreign, spouse's Mexican birth certificate, residency card, criminal records, and proof of marital cohabitation. Spanish and history tests apply. Processing takes 6 to 12 months, often faster for spouses. Step 5 for naturalization is attend an interview, submit your documents at INM, complete the biometrics, pass the tests, and then step 6, receive citizenship. Upon approval, take an oath at INM or a consulate. Get your Carta de Naturalización and apply for your identity documents and the passport. The process often benefits from a lawyer, especially for descent or naturalization. Mexican citizenship's validity is lifelong. Once granted, it's irrevocable unless renounced. And passports renew every 10 years at consulates or SRE offices. No ongoing residency is required post-naturalization, though it's recommended to visit every couple of years at a bare minimum to keep the ties alive, and then your descendants inherit citizenship automatically. While Mexican citizenship is accessible, there are drawbacks in 2025. Descendant claims require accurate records. Pre-1930 documents may be missing or may not be registered. A lot of these genealogy searches lead to dead ends. So make sure you have the documents. You can only get the citizenship by descent or whatever pathway you take if you have the documents. Naturalization, citizenship involves bureaucracy. You can expect delays with the INM or other, different aspects of government or the process. You might have Spanish and history tests, which, though basic, it can be challenging for non-speakers, and it does take time as well to schedule and write these exams. So just things to think about. Local taxes in Mexico are something to think about. FATCA reporting, if you are doing banking in Mexico as an American, is something to think about. So there's all these different things, but first just verify your eligibility. Make sure you're eligible for citizenship, and hopefully this video helped. Second, gather your documents, get your records, birth certificates, marriage certificates, etc. Third, hire help. You can hire firms like MyLatinLife to assist with the documentation. Step 4, apply early, study early. If you have to do a test, start studying early. But anything you have to do, do it early. These processes really do take a long time. In summary, Mexican citizenship opens doors to a vibrant nation with global reach. From travel freedom to cultural roots, it's a rewarding path for many. That's the full guide to Mexican citizenship and all the different pathways to getting there. If you're pursuing it or have questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, any anecdotes you have about the process, and give the video a thumbs up if it helped. Subscribe and check out the other videos on our channel about global citizenship and all things Mexico. We have dozens of videos about all things Mexican residency, citizenship, and more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.